Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Do you work in emerging tech, working on something innovative, maybe an entrepreneur? Apply to be a guest at www.coruzant.com/brand. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Matt Rouif. Matt Rouif is the co-founder and CEO of PhotoRoom, the AI-powered photo editor and listing studio used by entrepreneurs, brands, and teams who need standout visuals without the time, cost, or complexity of traditional production. Best known for capabilities like fast, high-quality background removal and product-focused image editing, PhotoRoom helps businesses create content for product listings, ads, and social channels more quickly and at a lower cost. Born in France and shaped professionally across both France and the U.S., Mathieu is a Stanford alum and a Y Combinator-backed founder. Before founding PhotoRoom, he worked in product at GoPro, where he learned what it takes to turn sophisticated imaging technology into tools that are simple, reliable, and loved by mainstream users. Well, good afternoon, Matt. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Absolutely, my friend. I appreciate it. You're hailing out of Paris, France today. I'm in Kansas City, so we're about a 7 hour difference in time. And I just know it's hard to make calendars, especially when it's international. So thank you, Matt. If we could, I'm going to jump right into your first question. PhotoRoom is often described as a listing studio for modern commerce. How do you think about the role of visuals today in driving conversion, trust, and brand consistency across marketplaces and social platforms?
Yes, it's a great question. Visuals are the shop front of commerce today. And what we usually say at PhotoRoom is like people buy pictures online and then they receive products. But most of what you do when you're buying is looking at a picture. You can't touch the product. So it is the most important touch point, the most important proxy for what you do. And so the work you put in the visual, the quality of the visual represent the best estimate of what the brand, the product, the work, the craft behind what you're selling is. So really making this, we see PhotoRoom as well as making like this high quality, studio quality on brand imagery to make you look professional. So when someone buys it, they think the product is professional. And we want that to be fast. So you don't need a studio or a large budget to do it anymore. So this is very key. And like what's more is like, it's not even sure in the future or today, like that many purchases are happening on a shopfront, like on a website. A lot of that happens in marketplaces, even in chat now. So like really what stays is the visuals. So it's really, really key. You want it to look professional and brand and really high product fidelity to the real product.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Visuals are, as you mentioned, the storefront in e-commerce and shopping today, and making those visuals the best they can look is really important. But I like how you take all that production time out of it, having an expert there, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But just amazing to see that type of professional visual for a product that it's representing will make all the difference in the world. So thank you. Matt, PhotoRoom now processes billions of images annually and supports teams in more than 180 countries. What technical or organizational challenges emerge when AI creativity needs to operate reliably at that scale?
Yes. So that scale, what's difficult is not creating or generating the photo. It's kind of a scaling problem. So what becomes difficult is maintaining speed. And that's something that's very important. Like when we work with hundreds of millions of users, but also the biggest marketplaces like Amazon, DoorDash. So speed, like making sure that when you have millions of concurrent users, you maintain the speed and it's the best speed on the market. On creativity, what's really important is find a balance of, the second thing is trust. So trust of your brand and trust of product fidelity. It's quite easy to get one image, to generate one image that is kind of high product fidelity. You go through a few tweaks and you get there. What becomes difficult is when you have like tens of photos per SKU, and then you're selling 1,000 SKU or millions of SKUs, like a marketplace of products. And so here you need to put in place the right kind of guardrails for your AI to maintain the product fidelity, the trust of the imagery. So for that, we train the AI to give back how much trust they have. We build our own AI, our own generative AI algorithm, so we don't touch the product. We build a way to put the logos and refacial. So you need a special engineering solution and a machine learning solution for that. And the last part is like when you have scale, it's about like having the best AI for all the distribution of like the kind of visual you can get. You maybe some use case might use like a one foundation model. Some other might need another technique, and really learning this for each use case, each country, each context, what is the best AI that is going to bring the best solution. So for that, it's important to be able to A/B test, have like a really data that tells you that's the best image you can get. So speed, trust, and really giving the best model for the right moment, right image. These are kind of challenges that are grounded in data that are complex.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, you talked about the scaling and, of course, the challenge, and you talked about that as maintaining that speed, especially when you have millions of connected concurrent users. The creativity, you talked about finding that balance with the trust, the brand. And then with AI, you want to ensure that those guardrails are in place to ensure that the product and the brand is not altered in any fashion. I really appreciate that there's a lot that you have to bring it all together at scale, which is sometimes very challenging. So thank you. Matt, generative AI has raised concerns about quality, consistency, and brand control. How do you ensure AI-generated visuals remain accurate, on brand, and commercially trustworthy?
This is one of the challenges of imagery and visual generation. So like the first answer is that that's the thing we optimize for. So you have a lot of models or apps that are optimizing for creativity. What we optimize for is like trust and consistency. And we do that by a set of rules. First, we train our models to respect the product and to know if the product is respected. So if there is like a good consistency and trust. So that's like in the ML side, we do train specific model where we layered the product on top of like a generated background. So, and we have special algorithm that will tell you if it's respected or not. So we're the only one like to have the 100% like product consistency and product fidelity on that. And the second thing is for the brands, we kind of like build that as an infrastructure where you can define your brand, and then our machine learning or app read that. So like if you want to have a defined color or logo, we put it on top. The color, we put it in the background, and we make sure the AI doesn't affect that. And so like this combination of building the product with the primitive around product fidelity and brand and training the machine learning for that makes us able to respect that. But I think what's important is you can't optimize both for creativity and like high product fidelity, high trust. And we chose, as we focus on commerce, to optimize for trust and fidelity.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I know there's a lot that goes into that. I know AI helps a lot, especially with processing millions of images, probably weekly at this point. The big challenge is that it's having that consistency and trust. And then as far as quality, you talked about that, is training, again, using machine learning to ensure that the brand stays consistent, colors are on par, and that sort of thing. So I do appreciate you breaking that apart for us. And Matt, the last question of the day, as we look ahead, what do you believe will define the next generation of creative tools for commerce, and how far can AI realistically go in replacing traditional photo and design workflows?
So the creative work stays. I think what we want is to build an AI that is equipping, giving humans really the power at scale of creative imagery. So we help you scale this imagery. What's important and how it does change is the future is customized images. So for everyone. So that's like happening in a few months, a few years. Basically, every image, every transaction you have, every communication you have will have a specific image. You have a specific to the buyer, specific to the seller. So buyer would be, well, you see the chair you're buying in your living room. The seller would be the story of the seller. You have maybe their logo, and then the context, like maybe soon it's they or there is a spring sale. And so all of that needs to be put together into one unique image. And so then the question for creativity is how do you empower humans to be able to manage all of that? So we are building on like special tools, special machine learning, special apps that helps you manage these thousands of AI workers for you if you're creative. So you need to make the flow happen and make the UX to be the manager of these thousands of AI creative working for you as a creative. So that's kind of the challenge when you build that, and make sure the human workforce is getting more creative than ever. It's becoming more accessible. And then also understanding what creative works, what doesn't, today for the buyers, and maybe tomorrow is the robots are buying. So what are the images that the robots are looking for when they're buying for you? So it's going to change, but it's exciting and needs a lot of tools for that we're building at First Room.
I love that. Thank you. And I know you're really building that AI to give humans those tools for enhanced creativity, making it more accessible for everyone. And of course, you talked a little bit about the future is those customized images, again, for everyone. But that UI, UX has to be on par. As you said, there's a lot that goes into this. And again, it's like a really complex recipe, but you're continuing to improve and innovate with your platform. And we really appreciate, especially as creators here in this new marketplace we live in with AI. So thank you. And Matt,
Thanks.
You're welcome. It was such a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Same brand. Bye.
Bye for now.